So yeah, so now we're gonna start talking about Ethereum's price action since it seems to have got into a lot of volatility. But before we do, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, right? As we will be bringing you more TA, every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And also make sure to follow us on Twitter, right? I mean, I'm Ali Martinez. My Twitter handle is basically Ali_charts. Here, I'm usually posting a bunch of things about, on-chain metrics and some technical perspectives that I have on different coins, right, based on the behavior that they have or anything interesting that I see happening from an on-chain perspective or a technical perspective, right? I mean, I've been, as you guys can see, I've been able to tell you, different rebounds, especially with Cardano recently, right? Kind of like that major, exchange inflow that we saw in Bitcoin the other day, which kind of like led to a correction. So yeah, I mean, the TA and the on-chain metrics are usually on point. So yeah, make sure to just follow me on Twitter at Ali_charts. Yeah, that's basically my Twitter handle. Also make sure to follow Akash, right? Yeah, you can go ahead and advertise your social
Yeah,
media.
right. So I basically cover a lot of charts, technical analysis. I don't generally do on-chain unless it's like super outlier. But yeah, I basically post my views on the markets, and sometimes I should post about the market. That's all. Like it's just follow along if you like what we do here on the channel. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
definitely. So what is your Twitter handle? Sorry, guys.
Right. My Twitter handle is Mangeko with a zero in the end.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah.
make sure to follow Mangeko with zero at the end, right? So yeah, I mean, as we dive into Ethereum's price action, I mean, one of the things that I basically want to note in here is that this price action that we have been seeing right here, right? I mean, I kind of like brought this fractal because it seems to be quite similar to the price action that we saw at the beginning of the year, right? Where Ethereum kind of like consolidated, right? And that basically 1,390 resistance levels kind of like preventing it from going higher, right? Eventually, Ethereum was able to break through this 1,390 resistance level, right? Make a new I mean, not a new all-time high, but it actually made a new all-time high of basically $2,000, then basically retraced to that support level right there around $1,400 before it continued the uptrend, right? Right now, we're seeing kind of like a similar price action, right? Where basically Ethereum is kind of like consolidating right here at the top, right? Before it could potentially break out or maybe just not follow this fractal, right? So I do believe that based on that similar price action, there is potential for a potential outburst, and Ethereum can tag around $4,100. But before we get out of out of ourselves, basically let's evaluate what is currently happening, which from a daily time frame, it does seem like Ethereum is building this type of ascending triangle, right? Which leaves you with a target of, I believe it's like, yeah, 15%, right? So a daily candlestick close above the overhead resistance, which basically sits at around $3,360, right, could lead to a upswing towards $3,900. But if this support level right here at around $3,150 were to break, then we could see a downswing towards the 2020 trend line, right, that has been acting as significant support ever since the COVID crash, right? So if Ethereum actually cannot hold above the 3,150 support level, I believe that it will come down here and kind of like test the support trend line or rising trend line from basically the 2020, COVID crash. It currently sits at around 2,700, anything between 2,700 and $2,600. So yeah, I mean, with Ethereum right now, it's kind of like the same thing that we had been analyzing with Bitcoin. It does seem like a major price movement is about to take place, right? Especially whenever you look at also the Bollinger Bands on the daily chart, right, which has been squeezing, which is indicative of a major price movement that is about to happen, right? So I will be paying attention to this cryptocurrency over the next few days, right? As we head towards the monthly close. I will pay attention to it because I believe that it is poised for volatility. It will finally break out and provide like a 15% gain for any of those who are actually waiting just to see whether support or resistance will break first. When we look at the on-chain metrics, the on-chain metrics tells you that that $3,150 support level that we're looking right here from this ascending triangle pays a lot of importance to the trend, and it actually is the most significant support level that Ethereum is holding onto, right? As you guys can see right here, there's no significant resistance ahead, while support is strong. This is a good indication. Definitely, I mean, this is basically a bullish sign, right? Because I mean, it will be basically really hard for this amount of holders to kind of like push prices lower, or unless a major sell-off across the board takes place, where basically Ethereum holders are depositing tokens into exchanges, and then that kind of like creates a major sell-off, right? But as it stands right now, it seems very hard for the bears to be able to break through this significant demand barrier. So as of right now, based on the IO map, the IO map is actually leaning bullish, right? I mean, it's telling you that there is potential for Ethereum to continue advancing further because there is no significant supply barrier ahead. Now, when we look at another on-chain metrics, such as the number of new addresses joining the Ethereum network, right? What we can see, actually, this the number of new addresses joining the Ethereum network. What we can see is that this interest is definitely going down. We haven't seen such a significant spike in the number of new addresses joining the network, which could also tell you that the rising price action that we saw recently is could be a result of the supply shock that Ethereum has seen due to the decreasing number of tokens being held on exchanges and basically decentralized exchanges. But it's definitely not being driven by a spot, right? Because as you guys can see, the number of new addresses joining the network has not been increasing. Instead, it has been declining, right? And while prices have been going up over the past 24 hours, right? It kind of like Ethereum rebounded from $3,200 towards $3,300. That spike has not been reflected in the number of new addresses joining the network. So this on-chain metric right here is definitely a warning signal, right? That things are not looking properly, right? Good for the continuation of the uptrend. What you want to see is that a rising number of new addresses joining the network that kind of like coincides with the upward price action. When we go back to after the COVID crash, what we can see here is kind of like an uptrend in the number of new addresses joining the network that coincided with the number, I mean, with the price action, right? And as you see, right, I mean, right before the COVID crash, we saw a major downswing in the number of new addresses joining the network, right? I mean, it went from basically 106,000 addresses joining the network per day, all the way down to around 37,000 addresses joining the network. That was roughly 2 months before the COVID crash, which eventually translated into prices, right? The same thing happened around the correction that we saw in September 1st, 2020, where basically Ethereum went from $480 towards kind of like $350, right? I mean, that correction was basically anticipated by a significant decline in the number of new addresses joining the network. But after that, the number of new addresses joining the network continued increasing, right? As more, there was like a lot of interest in kind of this asset class, basically, right? But as of right now, we have not seen an uptrend in the number of new addresses joining the network, so that's definitely a warning signal for me. So I'll be paying close attention. I'll be paying close attention basically towards the 3,000, I would say $3,400 resistance level and the 3,150 support level, as any daily candlestick close above or below it could present a significant opportunity to profit, right? Because it will lead to a, based on the technicals, to a 15% price movement. But once again, I will not be full-blown bullish on Ethereum, even if that happens, until I see, the number more interest on the network, right? Basically, when I see that there is an uptrend in the number of new addresses joining the network, I will gladly, jump to the bull side and basically target higher highs. But yeah, that's kind of like my take on Ethereum right now. I mean, the most significant levels that I see is basically $3,400 and $3,150. I don't know if you, Akash, are looking at something different than this.
Yeah, let me just share the screen. Right. So I'm looking at the same ascending triangle that you were looking at. But I just want to talk about the importance of this level here, which is 3,322 and 3,375, right? Every time Ethereum comes to this level, it sells off quickly, sell off, and now it's kind of retesting the 3,375 level. And I'm expecting a sell off again. I'm not sure if it's going to go all the way down to the lower. Let me just 1 second. It's going to go down to this lower trend line here. But if it does take over the 3,375 level, I believe it's like a straight run up to 3,716. Like once we close above this level, it's like a free run up for Ethereum, like a freeway, a highway up to 4,000 psychological level. So I just want to talk a bit about these two levels here. From a higher time frame, you can see there was like a green candle where a lot of technically speaking, the institutions, this is where they sell. This is where this institutions kind of start selling, and that can be seen in the candles that precede that, right? So typically, a lot of selling did happen here. So the retail investors that purchased here, when the price suddenly crashed away from it, there was a lot of people that bought Ethereum here that were underwater, right? And now, as Ethereum goes above to these levels, these investors are trying to break even, which explains the sell-off that is happening here, right? But after this, there isn't a lot of resistance level here for Ethereum up to at least 2,716. So I'm looking at a close above this level. If Ethereum does achieve that, I think 4K is like inevitable, right? And from a theoretical perspective, this distance is approximately 18%. And if you consider this as a breakout, and if you measure 18% from up here, it comes up to around 3,924, which is just below 4,000 psychological level. I think if we do come here, we're gonna like at least wick up to the 4,000 level, or probably consolidate below it, right? But I think 4,000 is still inevitable. And once we come here, I don't think it's gonna be very long until we breach a new all-time high, right? Considering what Solana, Cardano, and everything is doing. But yeah, I think anything beyond this would be like super explosive, considering the EIP 1559 and all that's happening, all that's been happening with Ethereum. So yeah, that is one thing that I wanted to talk about on lower time frame, right? But from a higher time frame, as Ali just mentioned about the Bollinger Bands, they have definitely been squeezing up. So this 18% run up that is predicted by this ascending triangle on a lower time frame kind of falls exactly in line with the volatile move that one can expect from a Bollinger Band squeeze happening. Right. For me, again, the confirmation for a volatile move would be a bullish confirmation would be a close above 3,375, and a bearish confirmation for me would be so another thing that you have to know about ascending triangles is it could breach either way, right? But yeah, so for me on a lower time frame, I don't want to see Ethereum lose 3,000 psychological level, but considering how it's been tapped so many times, I think if we do come down there again, uh, a breach is likely to happen. So, but that doesn't put Ethereum in like a major. It doesn't shift the bias to bearish completely because we've seen a lot of wicks go down below the 3K level a lot of times here. So for me, the bearish confirmation would be 2,896 or roughly 2,900 level here. Anything beyond a close, anything on a daily time frame, if Ethereum closes below this level, it would be a lower low. Considering how Ethereum has been like going down in like a choppy market here. that would be bearish for me. Like if that happens, I'm expecting a move down to this demand zone here, ranging from 2.4K to 2.6K, right? But I am definitely leaning bullish on Ethereum, unlike Bitcoin, which is kind of indecisive. Uh, I'm expecting, like I mentioned here, an 18% upswing. But if I want to be a little conservative, I'm going to probably expect probably take some off the table at around 3,760 or 12% upswing. Yeah,
Okay,
not,
okay, okay.
not, yeah.
So yeah, it seems like we're basically looking at kind of like the same pattern, right? You know, I'm definitely putting a lot of focus to that supply. I mean, demand barrier that into the block is showing right around 3,150. I believe that a move below 3,150, you know, could lead to a steep correction. But if prices were to finally, you know, overcome the $3,400 resistance level, I do believe that a move towards $4,000 seems imminent. But as of right now, I mean, once again, I can't stress this enough. I mean, we're approaching the end of the month. You know, cryptos tend to be very volatile towards the end of the month. So you know, be aware of the noise that is currently happening, right? And just wait for a decisive close above support. I mean, outside of the support and resistance level that we just mentioned before you enter on any trade. Is I mean, if you're patient enough, you could potentially profit from the next price movement that these cryptocurrencies will provide you. But yeah, that's basically it for Ethereum. And once again, if you know like what you see right here, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel.